Hey, good morning everyone, and a very happy Sunday to all of you. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing good. And I wanted to speak on a very important topic, which is nothing but how we actually go ahead and crack an interview. Interviews are very important, we all know about it. They are the gates which in turn leads us to get a good job, get a good salary, and land in a great and a fruitful career, which might be incredibly encourages for us in the long run. All right. So I've gone ahead and I'm going to share a couple of tips of how you can actually crack an interview. I've been a lot of interviews in my life, like anyone else, but my number is a little bit more since I tried exploring a lot of other companies as well. Right. So I would go ahead and share certain tips, how to exactly crack an interview. So please watch the video in full so that you might get a lot of insights and you can implement it in any other interview which you might give in the future, and at the same time you can also share it with any of your colleagues, peers or family members at the same time. So the first thing, when we go ahead and give an interview, so we walk inside the interview room, the doors are closed, and we actually go ahead, and then when we are called, we actually knock the door, and at the same time we ask permission. That's the very first thing which we do. I do understand it might sound a bit formal, but yes, that's the first thing which we may want to do. So that's kind of a sense of politeness which you actually exhibit about yourself in terms of characteristics. So we ask permission. May I please come in? With a smile. And when I use the word smile, we smile gently. Without showing much of your teeth. Yes, if you can pull it off, there's nothing like that. But so when I say a gentle smile, as in like this, as in a gentle smile. And the second part is, which is extremely important, is being confident in the interview. These are very simple things, but these actually work, you see. It worked for me. It might work for anyone else if it has worked. If it has worked for me. So confident is something which is very crucial at the same time. And when I use the word confident, it's nothing but being overconfident. It's like your inner confidence, when your soul becomes confident of what exactly you're doing, and that comes with your body language. Exactly. So when I say body language, as in a straight chest and a straight torso, so that completely defines your body language. And at the same time, you may want to be positive throughout the interview as well. And then we go ahead and shake hands, and we need to remember this thing: we only shake hands if the interviewer or the hiring manager is attempting to shake hands with you. Then we go ahead and reciprocate the same. If the interviewer is telling you to just sit down, you can sit down gently. That's pretty much about it. Another important thing is your eye contact, which is essential. Please understand that eye contact is something very important. That actually shows the interviewer how inclined you are for this job, how interested you are, how encouraged you are when you're completely looking at the eyes of the interviewer or the hiring manager, which means that you're in complete synchronization with the interview process, which also drives a lot of interest among the hiring manager as well, which in turn gives him a kind of an approach wherein, yes, this guy is interested, and this guy has seriously come for an interview. You might be seriously coming for an interview, definitely. Your main objective is to go ahead and get a job, but at the same time you need to show that, because remember one thing: it's a 15 minutes or 18 minutes communication which happens, or probably a 20 minutes discussion, and within those 20 minutes you need to orchestrate and portray yourself completely. You might be having ABC qualities in you. You might be having 100 qualities in you. You might be having some 1,000 characteristics in you. But if it's not showcased within that time frame, the hiring manager or the interviewer might lose out on what they are exactly looking out for. So that's the reason why I'm making this interview, or I'm making this video, which is for the interview as well. And one important thing Once we go ahead and shake hands, we do the eye contact, which is extremely important, is your acknowledgement. So for example, the interview started asking questions, tell me something about yourself. Then what we tend to do is we start, my name is XYZ. No, that's not a correct way. Sure, I'll be glad to help you to introduce about myself. Sure, I'll be happy to introduce myself. So that gives a confidence that yes, things are at par completely. We need to speak at a normal rate. Not too fast, not too slow. A rate which matches the speed of the hiring manager or the interviewer. Extremely important. And then the conversation goes. Then we are in the communication, in the conversation. Remember one thing. You should not be in a position wherein the hiring manager is completely controlling the communication. Then you lose out on a lot of things. And at the end of the day, you might be tagged or labeled that you have been extremely nervous in the interview, which is not right when you know a lot of things, right? So that is something which is very important. Then one thing is, whenever you're speaking, so for example, I'm going to make much more videos in the future on certain technicals and all those. So what are the key questions which are asked in an interview and how to answer those questions. So I'm going to make a separate video for that. As I said before, I'm just framing an outline for my viewers who are keen to give interviews in the future or who have certain planned interviews or schedules in the future. Stressing on keywords whenever you're speaking anything, that is incredibly important. So for example, if you're talking about your achievements, I was awarded Employee of the Quarter in my previous organization. So about your good qualities, about your good capabilities, about your fortes, you need to go ahead and speak and stress on those keywords. When you start stressing on keywords and make the communication so immersive that doesn't allow the hiring manager to ask you more questions, there's a reason behind it. Because if you're engaging your communication with the hiring manager in a very immersive manner, the hiring manager gets completely immersed in your communication. He has a thought process in place. He's a human being as well, like you. He might be thinking as well. He has to frame his questions as well. So I'm not saying you may want to go ahead and manipulate anything. It's not about manipulation. He has to ask a lot of questions. He will definitely ask those questions which he's looking out for. However, it's your responsibility and it's your job, and you cannot cut off the interviewer. No ways, you cannot do that. It might lead to a rejection when you're trying to speak something. But at the middle, you need to find those tiny gaps in between, and then you can go ahead and try to communicate your things in the best possible manner. So some of the important things, and another thing, we often find this, there will be a much more detailed video later. Well, what happens is there might be certain questions which you are not aware of. So, I understand it's quite weird to just say that, I don't know this answer. Rather than saying, I don't know this answer, all you can do is always start these kind of statements with, well. That works. Trust me, that works. Well, Mr. Smith, I'm not aware of this, but I would love to learn about this. So that gives you, so that is something which is negative, right? That you don't know this, right? But that gives you an opportunity to showcase certain positive skills about you to the interviewer, which makes him or her feel that you want to learn. You want to be a part of this new simulation in the organization, which might be an asset to the company as well. So you can just say, well, it looks like I'm not aware of this, but I would be happy to learn in the future. You can just keep it short and simple and straightforward. It also gives you an opportunity to unlearn a lot of things. So in the interview process, it's all about the way when you're showcasing a hiring manager that you have that ability to unlearn as well. It's flexible, it's dynamic. At the end of the day, we have to go ahead and be adaptive to certain organizational changes as well. Because, for example, you've done XYZ work in your previous company in a particular project. You might not be hired for the same project. Though the work might be same, but the client might be different. The scope of work might be different. A lot of things might be different. So please do remember, Based on all of these, you may want to go ahead and create a niche for yourself by simply stating, well, I do appreciate what I've done in the past. I've learned a lot of things, and never you may want to tell any negative things about your previous company, even if there has been something negative which might have been going around. You will always say that it was great. It was a great experience working. My stint in the previous company was extremely lucrative. It was very productive. I would want to go ahead and utilize those positive aspects in order for me to learn and unlearn in the new organization. So these are the couple of things which we can go ahead and actually mention. Prove yourself as an asset to the company, as a human capital. Loyalty is extremely important. You may want to showcase how loyal you might be for the company. So these are the couple of things which you may want to definitely go ahead and keep in mind before appearing for an interview. I would make much more videos because there's a lot to talk about, and we would go ahead and discuss on all of those topics. Definitely. I would segregate all the topics and I will talk about everything. I would also make a video on how to answer certain specific interview questions based on certain job roles as well at the same time. Thank you very much, and in order for you to go ahead and get my future videos, please to hit the subscribe button so that you would go ahead and get those videos that might help a lot of people who might be appearing for interviews. Thank you very much, and it was great communicating, and a happy Sunday to all of you. Good job, great job. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you. Please subscribe to Outlandish Breaks. Bye bye.